Let's do an algebra question for grade 7 and 8 algebra. It reads, students are given 10 problems to solve. For each correct answer, they get 5 points. And for each incorrect answer, they lose 3 points. Everybody attempted to solve all the problems. Matt got 44 points, Luke got 10 points, and John got 2. How many problems did I answer correctly altogether? So let's look at the solution. We know that each of these 3 students each answered 10 problems. So the total number answered would be 3 times 10, and that is 30 questions or 30 problems. And the total that they scored between the 3 of them is 34 plus 10 plus 2. So that is equal to 46. So how do I get to 46 points if I have answered 30 questions in total? Now we have other information. So we have used the information about the 10 problems, and we have used information about their scores. The other information that we have is that a correct answer gives you 5 points, and for an incorrect answer, they lose 3 points. What we don't know is how many they answered correctly. These amount of problems that they answered correctly, let that be represented by x, because we don't know that value, and that's the value that we want to figure out. So x is the total that they answered correctly. So it's easy actually to allocate the variable, because the variable represents the value that we want to solve. The points for correct would be 5 times x. So because every time they have an answer correct, they get 5 points. And the points for incorrect would be, for every incorrect answer, they lose 3 points. So we know that they are losing 3 points, and they have answered 30 questions in total, and we need to take away the amount of answers that are correct. This one's a bit tricky to set up. Let's read that again. We know that they have answered a total of 30 questions. We know that X amount of those questions are correct. So if an X amount is correct, then 30 minus X would be the amount of questions that are incorrect. And for every incorrect question, they lose 3 points. Now let's use that information to set up an equation. So we have the total of correct answers, and we're going to take away the points for the incorrect answers, and their points added up to 46. So now we have an equation that represents their points in terms of correct answers and incorrect answers. And from here, we can solve for x. Before we can solve for x, we need to multiply this negative 3 out, or distribute it. So it'll be 5x, and then negative 3 times 30. So that's minus 90. And then negative 3 times negative x. So that become positive 3x is equal to 46. I can move the 90 to the right-hand side. So that will be 46 plus 90. And on the left, I have 5x plus 3x. So that becomes 8x. So therefore, 8x is equal to 136. And if I divide the left and the right by 8, I'll have the value for x. So x would be equal to 17. So the total number of questions that I have answered correctly is option C, 17.